Hello friend, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Becky if you're new, and today we are going to be making a Dutch pancake, German pancake. I don't actually know the correct name for it, but we're going to be making a delicious pancake that goes directly into the oven and is super easy and super delicious. One of our go-to dinners is breakfast for dinner when we don't know what to cook. And I like this recipe because my chickens are laying a lot again and I've got a lot of eggs. This is the first time I have cooked live in almost, I think, 2 years. Josh is here with us. Say hello, Josh.
Hello there.
So I have the oven preheated to 425 degrees. I'm gonna get a 9x13 casserole dish in the oven getting hot. I probably should have put it in there right when I was preheating, but I forgot, so it'll be just fine. So what I'm gonna do is make this pancake batter in the blender. The beautiful thing about this recipe is you don't have to flip pancakes. You just make it all in the blender. So I will link this recipe down below if you want to try making it yourself. And the first thing we're going to start with is 6 large eggs. And Josh can interrupt me at any point. He can ask questions if you guys have questions. And we're just going to have fun hanging out in the kitchen together. I do need to pay attention, though, to how many eggs I'm putting in here. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I just had Josh's birthday. That actually now was 2 weeks ago. And we had some family friends that drove in from out of town and stayed the night with us. And this is what I made for breakfast the next day because I wanted an easy breakfast that can feed a crowd. I doubled this recipe. I just put 1 cup of milk in there. I could double the recipe in the blender, bake them at the same time, and it was so easy. So now I'm gonna put salt, but I don't have any salt. So I'm gonna grab some salt. So these are things I normally might edit out, but we're just gonna hang in the kitchen together and you're gonna see the whole process from start to finish. So I'm gonna put a pinch and a half of salt in there.
There are a few people saying that the volume's a little low.
Oh, okay.
But it's as loud as I could possibly get it.
So I need to talk louder?
I don't know. When I put my volume all the way up, it's almost deafening. So
okay.
Maybe adjust your TVs or screens if you can. Otherwise, this is about as much as I can do without feeding back.
So we'll go with it for today, but we will, every time we do this, we want to start doing this more. We will try to get better and better on the technology side. So I just added my salt, my eggs, my milk. I'm going to add 1 cup of flour and just maybe a tablespoon of sugar in there. And that's our pancake batter. So Josh, if you want to turn the volume down now, because I'm going to blend this. I don't want to deafen your ears.
Already lowered.
Okay, here we go. So do you want to, Josh is going to raise the volume.
There's some people noting that sorry, I'm hearing myself like the movie The King's Speech. I don't know where you've got like a little echo, it's awful. But some people are noting that the background is reversed.
Oh.
So dare I try to switch it so it's not inverted?
You're the tech guy, so whatever you want to do.
There's a part of me that's a little bit afraid, but I can see how it'd be disorienting. Like the clock is going to be backwards and...
Well, whatever Josh wants to do, I'll go for it.
Let me see real quick if I could adjust that.
Okay. So we had this for breakfast, and I'm going to actually make a berry compote. So while Josh is working on the tech stuff, I'm going to tell you what else we're going to be making today. We're going to make a berry compote, fresh whipped cream, and we are going to serve this with some lemon curd. Did that fix the thing?
I think it might have.
Awesome. So
yes, it's normal now.
Perfect. Okay, so we're learning. We're getting better. So here I've got some butter, and what I'm going to do is I am going to put my butter in my casserole dish. I don't like to do that right when I put the casserole dish in the oven because I want that casserole dish to get piping hot, and I have found that if I put the butter in and the casserole dish at the same time, my butter is going to get browned and has the potential to burn before my casserole dish is nice and hot. So we have our pancake batter here. So that's how easy that was. This is why this is a great recipe to feed a crowd, because you'll see when it comes out. I just turned the light off. You'll see it when it comes out, how beautiful. And it's kind of an impressive dish too, if you want to impress your friends and family with no effort on your part. So now, since I'm waiting for that butter to melt, we're gonna go ahead and get a strawberry and blueberry compote going on the stove. So I'm just gonna turn the stove on with blueberries and strawberries. We do wanna work on getting a second camera angle, but that will take a little bit of effort, but just note that that is our goal. But right here, I don't have a precise measurement on that. That is just some handfuls of blueberries and strawberries that I pulled out of the freezer. And to that, I'm not gonna add a lot, but maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons of sugar. We'll go ahead and add that to that. And then I'm gonna check on my butter. My butter might be melted at this point. Are there any questions, Josh? It's not quite melted yet.
I've been a little focused on other stuff, so I haven't noticed anything other than some that might cross the line of what we're looking to answer.
Okay.
There is a Palm Sunday dinner question,
Oh yeah.
but I guess we can answer that. There will be an Easter video.
Yes, so we just celebrated, so if you follow me on Instagram, you're gonna get like live updates on kind of what's happening around. And this weekend, we just had a Easter dinner at my parents' house. We celebrated on Palm Sunday just because my parents like when we do holiday celebrations to celebrate the week before. Usually just so that if we have other celebrations we need to go to, or we wanna have our own family celebrations with just our immediate family, then we can save that for the actual holiday. So we made a massive feast, but it didn't have as many things as I normally do because I did most of the prep myself. My mom was out of town, and so you'll see, it's super fun and everything turned out even better than anticipated. I actually, when I ordered a whole hog from a local farmer, I specifically got a couple things butchered in specific cuts for this dinner. So it was kind of something I've been planning for the last 6 months. And that's kind of one of the fun things when you order from local butchers or local ranchers, you can kind of get really creative with the cuts you want if you want to make something really special for a holiday feast. Okay, that is almost melted. And one thing to note when I started with room temperature milk and room temperature eggs. I did that today. Normally, I decide to make this the morning of. I do not have room temperature eggs or room temperature milk, and it turns out just fine. And as I'm talking to you, I realized I did not add my vanilla. So I can go ahead and just add my vanilla in here right now.
We do have a question about whether you've added flour yet.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
someone came in a little late, so do you
Nope.
want to just real quick say what you've put in so far?
Absolutely. So in my mixer, I put 6 eggs, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of milk, about a tablespoon or 2 of sugar, and you saw I just put a splash of vanilla in there, and then I blended that. So very, very simple ingredients, and I like this because it also has a higher protein content than a typical pancake batter. We eat pancakes too, but I generally make these a lot when the eggs are coming in because they have a lot of eggs and they're delicious and you're not flipping pancakes. Okay, I think my butter is almost.
We have a couple of questions in the meantime.
Yeah, go for it.
About what your favorite kitchen utensils are, and I guess what your favorite appliances and techniques are, and what you're planning for this year with those appliances.
Yeah, I will answer that in just a second.
That's a good sizzle.
That's a great question. You can see my butter is a little bit brown. I like a little bit of browning because that adds flavor. But if I have found that if I put the butter in too soon, it gets too browned. So now I'm just gonna carefully put the butter around the side of the casserole dish. Then I'm gonna pour my pancake batter right on top of that butter.
Why is it that you like the egg to be room temperature?
You know, I don't know why recipes always say that, but that's what all the recipes say. And I think it has to do with how everything emulsifies, but I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. So now I'm gonna get this in here. And we are going to bake that for probably 20 minutes or so. So while that's baking, we'll finish up our sauce and we will make our whipped cream. So the question about my favorite
utensil
utensil
to begin with.
A very sharp knife. It makes a world of difference. And a really big, nice cutting board. The cutting board you see me use all the time, that dark walnut one, that was a gift from Josh's dad actually. And I absolutely love it because it's big and I can chop a lot and I can actually keep things on the cutting board when I'm chopping other things. And then also my enamel Dutch oven and brazier pan that Josh got me for Christmas. I've slowly collected my kitchen equipment over the years and I like the quality, and so they're kind of investment pieces, and so it takes time to kind of build that up. But a sharp knife is probably, because it's like the most basic cooking thing we do, and a sharp knife is fantastic.
We also have some questions about closed captioning, and to my knowledge, there is a thing that allows me to add closed captioning, but
awesome.
I can't add it right now. I just have to add a delay to the stream.
Okay.
And then I can add it. So in the next stream, I will try to remember, I'll take a note to add the closed captioning because I think it can kind of process real time.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I can't for this one.
So we appreciate your feedback so that we can know what to do in the future to make it a more pleasant experience for you.
We're doing like one thing at a time.
Yes. One improvement at a time.
Yep.
So any other questions?
Well, the other kind of spin-off of that question was, what are some new appliances / techniques that you have planned for this year?
Well, my new appliance that I just got is my air fryer. I know I'm like 3 years late to the air fryer trend, and I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I'm converted. I love it. So I asked my friend Mandy in the Making. She has a YouTube channel and it's all food related, so if you need good inspiration on food. I didn't want to get one because when you go to Goodwill, you see them all the time at Goodwill, so I thought maybe people don't like them, but I think after talking to a lot of you on Instagram about it and just talking to people who have them, the reason there's so many at Goodwill is because people are upgrading to bigger ones because they like it so much. So I asked my friend who does a lot of cooking, which one do you recommend? So I went with the one she recommended, and it's the one with the really big basin. And we've really been enjoying it because it is all contained. So that one day when we went to Costco and Trader Joe's, and I said I was gonna make those sausages, well, I just threw those in the air fryer, and it was so easy, because normally I would have cooked those sausages on the stove, and it was just really, really easy in the air fryer. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and get going on some whipped cream. Josh, go ahead and keep getting questions for me.
Okay, sorry, trying to pin a message at the same time.
That's okay.
Chat is moving pretty quick, even for slow mode.
So here I'm gonna use my electric mixer to mix up the whipped cream. The first time I ever saw whipped cream being made homemade, my mind was blown. I feel like every time I learn a new kitchen skill or I learn to do something at home that I didn't know was a possibility, I'm always like blown away that you can make that at home. And I'm gonna turn this stove off. I don't know, I was probably like 6 or 5, maybe younger. I have no idea how young I was. But we were at my dad's mom's house for Thanksgiving, and my grandma just made whipped cream in a bowl with a hand mixer, and I was blown away, because I think up until that point I had only ever seen Cool Whip. So that was pretty cool. So I'm gonna show you how to make it if you don't know how to make it. It could not be easier. All it is heavy cream. Vanilla is optional. That was a lot of vanilla. It's gonna taste delicious. And then you can sweeten it or you don't have to sweeten it. It's totally your preference. I am gonna sweeten it a little bit. You can sweeten it with maple syrup. You can sweeten it with honey. I usually sweeten it unless I want a specific maple flavor with powdered sugar, so that really the only flavor that you're getting from it is the vanilla. But sometimes I like to make whipped cream with a little bit of maple syrup, and then I put that in my coffee because I want that yummy maple flavor. So Josh, do you want to go ahead and turn the volume down again, because I'm going to whip this, and this is going to take probably a minute or so to whip. dishes while this is whipping. I wish I could bring you in to show you.
You're lowered, so.
Oh. Josh, you want to go ahead and hire this?
Yep.
So we're going to do just a soft whip on this. You can definitely whip this. Whoop, sorry, that's probably loud. You can definitely whip this to a stiffer peak if you want, but I kind of want it saucy to kind of run over the pancake. So we're going to go with that. Basically, if you took this and kept whipping it for, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 minutes, the butter fat would separate from the buttermilk, and that's how you make butter. Pretty easy. Josh unloaded the dishwasher for me before we got started so that I could just kind of load things in the dishwasher as we go. And then I didn't ask you, do you want your berries on the top to be whole berries, or do you want me to run them through a fine mesh sieve so it's kind of more like a berry sauce?
I feel like whole berries sounds
You want whole berries?
nice. I mean,
Okay.
that's not as much stuff to do
Oh, I don't mind
for
doing
better or
it.
for worse.
I don't mind doing it. Whole berries sound good though. So typically I don't make a berry sauce when I serve this. Normally what I do is we either eat it with butter and maple syrup, or we have it with some strawberry jam or raspberry jam or whatever it might be. But I had some frozen berries in my fridge, so I thought it would be kind of fun to go ahead and make a sauce. And then I'm also gonna serve this with some lemon curd. So I got a bulk order of lemons, limes, and Meyer lemons, and I made 6 of these little 8-ounce containers of lemon curd. You'll see this. This video is not out yet, and I froze it, and it freezes beautifully. So Josh is not a big fan of lemon, so this is what I'm gonna put on mine, but he has not tasted this yet. So you wanna taste it?
Sure.
The consistency, I wasn't sure if it would come out from being frozen, and it's perfect. What do you think?
That's really good.
You like it?
Yeah, wow.
It has a very high quality butter in it, so you're getting that butter flavor, because lemon curd is basically sugar, lemons, and a lot of butter. And I used a high quality butter so that we could really taste that. And then I also used Meyer lemons, which are a little bit of a sweeter lemon.
So we have a couple more questions here. Well, I mean, a lot more, but
Okay.
to try and cherry pick a little bit, we have a question from a donation that asks if there are any plans for a cookbook or Acre Homestead merch.
Oh, that's a great question. So we are talking about a cookbook. I have started the outline, meaning just like the chapters and what recipes would go in each chapter, but it is a lot of work. And I think I've mentioned this before that we don't have a huge team here. So it's me and Josh, and my parents help out, and Josh's friend helped us with some design of the website and things like that. So it's just a matter of finding time, but we're slowly starting to chip away at that. That is a big goal. It will happen one day. And then merch is something that I would love, and Josh is working on that as well. We want to find a high, like a quality merch, and so that just takes a little bit of time.
There's a lot of generic stuff out there. You could just slap your logo on, and it's kind of cheap, and we could do that pretty quickly, but we want something that'll be
Quality.
nice and nice quality that Becky would like to wear around.
Yes, that's why I want it, because I want to wear it. And I want something that when you wash it, you know, like the logo is not just going to wash off. So I'm going to taste this berry, I'm going to call it a berry compote because that sounds fancier. Basically just berries and sugar. Oh, that's perfect. I don't think that needs any sweetness to it.
And I'm sorry for those that are still saying that the volume is low. It's as high as it can possibly go with what we have set up right now. So
For next time, we will make sure the volume is
I'm
higher.
not sure what I will do, but I will
Figure it out.
figure some way out to make it louder. All I can say is if you turn up your TV or something, it might help.
All right, so this is done. So that's how easy that was. You can see how it puffs up. You can do this in a cast iron too. And there's a little bit of butter that's kind of on the top. I'm gonna shut the oven door. And then we're gonna give this a taste test. So I'm gonna grab 2 plates. And this puffs up when it's in the oven, but it does kind of deflate a little bit, but it still tastes just as good. And it's very good the next day too. So let me show you again. You can see, sometimes it puffs up even more than this. It kind of just has a mind of its own. I don't know if it's how long I whip it in the blender or what, for how much it decides to really climb up the sides.
Real quick too, a lot of questions about the aprons that you use.
Oh yeah.
And pairing that with merch, we are going to try and have apron merch.
Yes, that is a big goal.
Finding a quality one that is gonna last a while is tough, but
Yeah.
that is a goal.
Yes, and when I find one, because you can find a lot of them that are just a generic cotton apron, but you all know I like the ones that cross in the back and tie in the back and have removable straps. So when you wash it, because I wash mine almost every time I wear it, I like when the straps remove. And so this one is from William & Sonoma. I can link it, but I just got a few new ones from Amazon and they are cheaper. And so far I've washed each of them 3 times and they've held up in washing, but when I do look at them side by side, there is definitely, the ones from William & Sonoma are a higher quality, just when I look at like the stitching and everything. Okay, Josh, you hungry?
I am.
So it's kind of like a custard, like an egg souffle custard. And you want berries and whipped cream, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
No curd? You don't want lemon curd?
I'm good without the curd.
Okay.
Yeah. It's tasty, but I don't want to.
It's not your favorite.
I don't want to hamper the experience.
Yeah.
Do you have a recipe online for the compote?
No, I don't. I could write one up. I could write one up tonight and get it up there. It's basically just whatever type of berries you happen to have in your freezer, sweeten it to taste, and cook it until soft.
It's a little unrelated to cooking, but I've seen the question come up a few times, maybe from the same person, but they're asking, what size garden would you recommend for beginners?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, a lot of it depends on how much space you have. So I kind of just maximized the space I had and then thinking how much time you have to invest in it and if it's something that you want to do long term. So maybe starting with a couple beds, seeing how much you enjoy it, and then if you enjoy it, kind of just growing from there.
Also, we do have a visitor from a box elderbug, so
Oh,
that's
where?
what that is. It's climbing on the window. It just
Oh,
made a debut, so
they can't see it in the video, can they?
they will be
Oh.
shortly. Yeah.
Yes, we have box elderbugs around here. So here we go. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that. I know it's kind of far away. I'm gonna just put some whipped cream on the top. And whatever whipped cream we don't end up eating today, I will put in my coffee tomorrow.
What is your least favorite dish to make? Or I guess maybe along those lines, what's something that you made that you did not like?
Oh, like not thing, but
I'm
oh,
thinking
there's
like a
been
dish.
some things that have not. Oh, what was it?
No, I'm not thinking one.
Oh, I was gonna say there's definitely been things that we've made that. Oh, I don't really like lamb, and I did buy a lamb from a local farmer. This was very, very silly and definitely a novice mistake because I bought a whole lamb from a farmer before I'd even tasted lamb, and so all those dishes that I made were not my favorite, and that's just because I don't love the taste of lamb. So I would make it for dinner, I would eat it, and then Josh would have to eat all the leftovers. But what else have I made? I've definitely made things that we don't like to eat.
There have been some things
Or
that
I end up having to eat the leftovers, or Josh ends up having to eat the leftovers because we don't really like it.
maybe things that we don't favor as much, but everything's generally pretty good. You don't tend to make things that you don't think we'll like usually.
Yeah,
But-
maybe we're trying to enjoy more seafood, so I guess maybe when I make seafood things, it's not our favorite to get through it, but I'm trying different techniques and different seafoods to see if we can increase our seafood palate. We did go to a nice dinner over the weekend, and we both ate an oyster for the first time.
It was interesting.
It was not as bad as I thought it would be. It didn't even taste like fishy to me. It tasted like the ocean, like salty, and I'm glad that we tried it.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to taste this?
Yep.
Okay, so I have lemon curd, whipped cream, and the berry compote. I don't think it's going to be too hot now.
It's a great texture. It's got like a little bit of chew to it, but it's not chewy.
It tastes like a crepe. So if you've ever had a crepe before, it's kind of that little bit of eggy flavor, but it's obviously thicker than a crepe, and it's a lot less work than a crepe, and it's delicious. And so we will eat this for dinner tonight. I do have some breakfast sausage thawed that I'm gonna fry up just on the stove after this. And so we'll have this with breakfast sausage, and then the rest of it we'll just heat up in the microwave tomorrow and the next day and enjoy that for breakfast. It's gonna be delicious.
So we have another question from Teresa, who donated $50, which is crazy. Thank you. She
generous.
says, my husband asked if the basement shelves have been stabilized, so that there's no more buckling. It's caused some anxiety after, I guess the chat's kind of covering part of that question.
Well, I can
After
answer.
using the same shelves and watching over 200 jars of food break.
Okay, so honesty, no, they have not been stabilized, but we have been eating down the pantry like crazy, and so there's not near as much weight on them. But that, I can see Josh's face, and that definitely lit a fire under him that we will be doing that.
I do have bungee cords. I bought a big spool
Yeah,
of
but that would-
long, well, it's not going to fix the sag, but it will
Yeah.
fix the jars falling off in like an
Yeah.
earthquake or something like that. So that's one thing that we have done, but we do need to swap out all of the
Yeah.
boards. It's just,
Because
it's one of those things you don't value until suddenly something happens.
Yeah. We've talked about it, but we have not talked about it since I organized the pantry because, you know, like out of sight, out of mind. So thank you for that. We will put that higher up on the priority list. It seems like it's going to be a lot of work. So if it seems like it's going to be a lot of work to get exact sizes for them to fit in the shelves. So Josh and I have also talked about, are we going to build shelves, or what do we want kind of more long-term for the basement? And so, yeah, I appreciate the motivation to address that because it needs to be addressed for sure.
On a similar topic, not as dangerous. Do you have any updates on the floor in the seed room?
Josh, do we have any updates on the floor in the seed room?
We don't have any updates. I don't know what's been told exactly
All
but-
I've said is that we had to hear back from
on whether they
Home
could do it.
Depot.
Yeah, I have not heard back yet. I need to be a little bit more proactive about it. There's a few things going on, but yeah,
Honestly-
we can't change our foundation
Yeah.
to meet the level they're expecting. So I'm not sure if anything will happen.
I think probably I've been happy with the concrete floors. I think if they're okay with it and we could just call it a wash, you know, pay for the removal and things like that, and then not actually install the floors. And maybe Josh and I go out there and just scrape a little bit more of that glue off. And
Maybe do a sealing
yes,
coat.
yeah, you all have told me you can seal it and we could stain it too. So that's an option. And that's something that Josh and I could do if we could get enough of the glue off. So,
I guess kind of related.
Yeah.
On account of you might break one when you're doing this, but QQQ, do you do your own nails?
I do not do my own nails. I do get my nails done. And I like having them done so you guys can look at my hands with nice nails, because to be honest, I'm a nail biter, and if I have my nails done, then I don't bite my nails. And I don't want to bite my nails because it's a bad habit, and so I do get my nails done. But I haven't gotten a professional haircut since 2018. So I don't dye my hair. I don't get I do get my nails done. I don't dye my hair or really go get my hair cut professionally, so it's kind of my one thing that I like.
And they are nice.
Yeah.
QQQ. I don't. I might not be on that what that means, but.
I think it's just question.
That could be okay. That's
I think
probably
so.
not like cute.
No, it's like question. I think. I don't know.
Okay. Will you ever do a meet and greet? I have family out your way and would love to say hello sometime.
We were just talking about maybe going to the Modern Homestead of America conference, which is in Idaho.
Not confirmed yet, though.
No, this is just us chatting. And so if we do go to that, then I would let you know and we could hang out at that. But that's in June, I think.
It's hard to plan something formal that's a meet and greet because it could be easily either very overwhelming or very underwhelming and uncomfortable.
No, it would be nice because then it would be intimate.
I mean, if we plan a thing and then 2 people show up, that'd be
great because then we could just talk.
It would be very intimate.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah. Josh is an introvert, so.
Yeah, both scenarios are terrifying.
Yeah. Yes.
What have you found is the best storage onion to grow?
The 2 that I grew last year were Patterson and Red Wing, and I don't think I cured my onions properly because my onions they started getting soft a lot sooner than the ones I bought from the local farmer. There were definitely a few that went bad from the local farmer. I should ask him what variety he plants, because mine only lasted about 6 months, and then, or maybe, well, let's see, September, October, November, December, February, 4.5 months. And so I think it was more of a curing problem than a storage onion problem, like the variety. I know Walla Wallas, I grow those, they've always done the best for me, like getting to big sizes, but those do not store at all. So I should ask my local farmer, because I still have a ton of his onions downstairs that are great, but he also is a professional and cured them properly.
I just want to say thank you for all the donations, everyone. Everyone's the very, very generous. Definitely not necessary, but we appreciate them, and it's very sweet. Yeah.
I am always blown away that you invite me into your home, and I just think I do not take that for granted, and it's such an honor that when you watch my videos, you are inviting me into your life, and so it's really, that's all I can ask for, and that's more than enough, so I really appreciate that.
There are just so many questions, too. It's hard to find the right ones to ask because there's so many kind of spattered around. Is there anything else you're planning to do cooking-wise?
No, we're just hanging out and chatting. This was it. Yeah.
Let me just pan through here.
Well, let us know what you thought while Josh is grabbing a few questions of Josh cooking.
There have been some questions on whether or not we're doing more of those.
Okay, so why don't we talk about that? So Josh, why don't you answer that question? Because I do not pressure Josh. That is 100% his idea to come on and make the cake.
I really like that cake. That's a very good cake.
It's a good cake.
I think I've made maybe 5 things in my life, and I've made that cake
3 times.
3 of the times. So.
And one thing I wanted to say about that cake that I realized I didn't say is it's a denser chocolate cake. So I am not a huge fan of super light and fluffy cakes. That's just not my favorite kind of dessert. I love pound cake. It is not as dense as a pound cake, but it's kind of between a fluffy cake that you like, a box cake that you think of, that fluffy cake texture, and a pound cake. So it's really rich.
It's moist.
Yeah. I know people don't like that word.
A trigger word.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's so good. It's my mom's recipe, and we love it. And so that was fun to have you on. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was fun too.
Would you come on more?
I think I could see myself doing more. I'm slow.
That's okay.
Compared to Becky. I mean, you could see in the video, I'm moving at a snail's pace, and she's on to the next thing. So
that's okay.
Trying to find a way to do that without slowing things down too much, but
I think it's a good balance though, because I think you kind of it's good to be a little bit slower sometimes because then you don't make the mistakes that sometimes I make.
I will be in more videos out in the garden and
Yeah.
some house projects and stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah, tomorrow's video that's coming out is we ripped out the previous owner's garden fence, and that was quite the project, and so Josh helped me with that. And then my dad came and helped with some weed management and things like that in the main garden, so that is what is going to be coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a fun project.
Yeah. Josh and I love doing projects together. It's always a matter of just like figuring out timing, especially when it's outside too, because we've got our schedules that we're trying to work around, and then we've got the weather we're trying to work around.
That's part of what spawned just doing the fence, because it happened to be
Yes.
nice out, so.
Yeah, we had well, it was actually like 3 or 4 70+ degree weather days, and it was it's fantastic. And now it's, I don't know, probably 50, and it's pouring down rain outside. So it was good timing on that.
Have you ever grown mushrooms?
I have. I grew wine cap mushrooms at the last homestead. They are the easiest mushrooms to grow. They're not picky. They don't need a hardwood to grow in. You just buy the mycelium in a bag, and all I did was sprinkle the mycelium around my fruit trees at the last homestead, and I think we have a link. I can put it in the description box for where I got them. And I sprinkled it around my raised beds, and then you just put wood chips over the top. They're not picky about what type of wood. So if you want to grow mushrooms, it's by far the easiest mushroom to get into, especially if you have wood chips around your garden beds, because I just grew them around my garden beds and around my fruit trees, and they really liked to grow up against the garden bed where they got more shade. And so in the spring, they grow in the spring and fall, and they grow along the garden bed, so you can kind of maximize your garden space. And Josh and I have talked about we want to do mushrooms here, but we need to find a space for it because I don't have wood chips around these garden beds. So I think we've got some like wooded areas because they like to grow in shade. They do prefer that. And so that's something we want to get into. Other kinds too, not just wine caps, but.
Along those lines too, we will be getting into bees this year. Well, that's the plan.
Yeah.
And I will be on film doing some of that, I think.
Yeah.
For those of you asking. I have no updates on the bees yet. I know I need to get started on that.
You do.
It's daunting. I have a couple of irons in the fire on that, but we'll be showing updates soon.
Awesome. See, I don't know much about it because Josh has kind of taken over that, so that's pretty exciting.
And for those of you that want to see my hair down, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that yet.
Yeah. So I did dental hygiene I was in the dental field since 2008. I started working, my dad is a retired dentist, and so I started working at like front office with him, like doing confirming appointments and sterilizing things. And then I became a dental assistant, and then I went to dental hygiene school, and I was in the dental field, I think, for around 17 years. And so I just got used to working with my hair up, and so when I work, I just like to have my hair up. So when we go out and do fun things, I wear it down, but usually when we're together in the kitchen or out in the garden, I don't like it around my face. But my hair is long, if you're asking. I do have one YouTube video where my hair is down.
You'll just have to search through all 600 to find it.
It's like my first or second YouTube video ever.
I
put it up halfway through because it was driving me crazy. So if you want to see my hair down, and then I do have on Instagram a tutorial on how I do my hair, so you can find it over there too. It's in the lives.
We've had a couple, I think we touched on how small the team is here, but
Yeah.
we have had a couple questions about whether or not I edit the videos.
No.
And I'll just say, no, I don't. There is a workflow. Initially, Becky did all the video editing. This was when she was also working, and it was, I don't think there was much time for anything other than maybe some sleep. So we did bring an editor on, and Becky's workflow is her editing style is pretty simple in that it's basically just chronological cutting together of clips. So that was an easy thing to introduce and freed up time.
Yeah. So I edited all my 202 videos. I think I edited myself, and then
Give or take.
Yeah, something like that.
202.
I just remember it was right around. I could be totally wrong on that number. It was around some even number, And then I think I was like 37 weeks pregnant, and Josh talked me into getting an editor. And it's actually, my editor is a family friend, and so it works really, really well. So my flow is I give him all the footage, he edits it, but I still have to spend an hour or two on each video, putting the voiceover in and kind of doing my final edit on it. But it definitely frees up a lot of time. There's no way that I would be able to, because to edit a normal video, my length takes 6 hours. So it definitely, I was able to get a lot of time back, and I would not be able to produce as much content and have a life. When I hired my editor, it was, I think, the first time I had taken a weekend or at least 1 or 2 days. I remember I was like, wow, I didn't edit a video today or film a video today for the first time in like almost 2 years. So it was
a lot.
Yeah.
A video every other day, filming it, coming up with ideas.
Yeah, it's fun.
Editing it.
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Good.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm not holding up my end of the bargain very well.
Okay.
There are...
Oh, so my team. So it's me, Josh, my editor, and then Josh's friend has helped us a little bit with, like, he helped with the colors on the website. Branding, yes. He made up the logo, things like that.
There've been only a few places you've seen that. I guess the starting screen today had the logo on it.
And Josh did that today?
Yes, not the logo, but
Yes.
I threw that thing together.
Yeah.
Okay. Should you get a water bath canner or a steam canner?
You know, I have not done steam canning before. I think I'm going to get one to play around with it, and we can experiment with it together. I love the idea of a steam canner because it's so much less water. I do feel a little intimidated because you have to calibrate it properly when you first get it, and then once you get it, it's good to go. So I can't comment on that because I've never steam canned, and I had asked you all last year about steam canning, and a ton of you guys said you really, really like it. So I think I'm going to get a steam canner, and then we can play around with it together and see what we think of it. I like water bath canning because it's easy. And I don't even use a traditional water bath canner anymore. I just use my big 30-quart pot, and that works really well because I don't have to have multiple pots. I did end up finding that canner. If you were with me this summer, I could not find my water bath canner. I finally found it, and I just donated it because I spent all summer without it, and I just used that big pot, and so that worked out really well. So if you're going to get a water bath canner, I would say just get a really big 30-quart stock pot, so then you can make your things in it and you can can in it. Then you don't have to have 2 big pots.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Are you planning on growing baby's breath? Or I guess maybe a better question would be, like, what are some of the flowers that you plan to grow this year?
So I was just watching Nicole at Flower Hill Farm, and she just started, or she was up potting perennial baby's breath. I don't have any baby's breath planted, but I do want to get my hands on some of those seeds. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. I do have some feverfew, which is kind of like a baby's breath. It's really actually like a really, really small daisy. It's just a little white flower that kind of grows in clusters like baby's breath. And I don't know if those have germinated yet. Those are in the seed growing room. I have dahlias that I need to, I just bought, I've got it right here. It just came in the mail today. Rooting hormone. I'm going to try to propagate my dahlias. And I'm going to start this week all my zinnias. My filler flower that I'm growing this year is the feverfew. I'm going to start celosia this week, and tons of eucalyptus. Tons of eucalyptus is my favorite. I think I have, what is 6 times 4, 8?
On the spot math. Wait, 6 times what?
I had to do the math to figure out how many.
What's the first multiple is?
4, 8, 9, 10. Oh gosh. I don't know. I have like 30 plants out there. And then someone who will remain unnameless plucked 6 of them out, but I was able to put them back in. I don't think the roots got disturbed. So.
Sorry, I just get so excited when I see little plants.
Yeah. And so I may be down 6 plants, but I think I have like 30, so that should be more than enough. But
Do you know what vanilla date paste is?
Vanilla date? No. Mm-mm.
We missed a question earlier about it, but someone's wondering if you can feature using vanilla date paste. I guess
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what that is
Yeah.
first, and then potentially.
I've seen, this is not vanilla date paste, it's pomegranate syrup. I've seen a couple recipes with that, and it looks delicious, and I need to buy some of that. And so I wonder if it's if it's like a paste or if it's
Oh yeah, it's like a
like a
paste.
syrup.
It's I think it's date paste with like maybe vanilla flavor or something in it.
Sounds good.
At a glance, that's what it seems like.
It's probably pretty sweet.
Seems like it would
Yeah.
be.
Probably pretty good.
Hopefully this question's okay too. Do you refreeze raw meat when making freezer meals?
I do sometimes. It just depends. And it is totally, totally safe to thaw meat and then refreeze it. You just don't want to do it a bunch of times because the texture, it's more of like a texture thing than a safety thing. So I do sometimes. Even like when you go to the grocery store, sometimes fresh meat is kind of frozen because sometimes companies, if they're shipping it far, they'll freeze it and then thaw it and then put it out. So it is safe to do it. You just don't want to do it a ton of times because it can change the texture or the quality of the meat.
Okay, and unrelated, do
Yeah.
you have a favorite podcast or like audiobook that you like to listen to? Audiobook type.
Oh, yeah, audiobook type. I don't listen to hardly any fiction. I like nonfiction. I like true crime. So I listen to true crime podcasts. I like biographies and memoirs. Those are my favorite. I think I found those, when I was like in college or maybe high school, but I love learning about other people's stories and where they came from and how they grew up and different like struggles people went through or like realizations they had. Because I think it's made me a more understanding person and just, it's fascinating. You know, we grow up with how we grow up, and then it's so interesting to me to like learn other people's stories and walks of life and different, faiths they grew up in. And I'm fascinated by learning other people's stories. And so memoirs are probably my favorite when they're written by the person who's telling the story. I love those. But I like true crime too. I listen to a lot of true crime podcasts. I like, oh gosh, now I can't remember their names. They have YouTube channels and they're true crime.
I can't help you.
Yeah.
But nary a day goes by that she's not getting ready for the day, and I hear horrific stories coming from the bathroom. So
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of have like a opposite end of the things because I like cooking stuff and I like reality TV too. My guilty pleasure.
it's okay.
Yeah.
Someone asked, this is a whole nother can of worms, but asked about what your favorite ear pods are.
I like AirPods. Those are the only ones I've ever had. I like the older generation ones better than the newer ones, but.
And she's tried them all. The AirPods.
He's saying that because I've maybe gone through a few pairs. Yeah, he's not even.
We can leave it at that.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I've seen some repeat questions on here, so I guess maybe if you come in late, maybe some of these have already been answered. What's your favorite meal of the day to cook?
Dinner. I love cooking dinner. It's so nice. When it's just me in the kitchen and listen to true crime maybe, or a book. I like to listen to people's lives too, like on YouTube. So I like that too. So I listen to a lot of those and cook.
I like that too when
I cook.
when you cook in the kitchen.
So it's so
Benefit
funny.
from
When
that.
Josh and I first got together, a lot of my higher end cooking equipment are gifts from Josh or Josh's family. My mom got me my KitchenAid when I got married. A couple things I bought myself, but mostly the high quality kitchen stuff that I have are gifts. And when Josh and I first got together, he didn't want to get me cooking equipment because he thought like it's more of a gift for himself, because then I'm going to use it to make dishes. And so I was like, no, because my Le Creuset, Josh got me those as gifts when we were first together, and they're super special, and they're something that will last, you know, a lifetime if you take care of them well. And I would not have bought that for myself, and so I was totally okay with him giving a gift that he will then benefit from. That was the thing. He felt like it was a gift that he would benefit from. But I never cook lunch ever, because we usually eat dinner, like leftovers from dinner for lunch. And breakfast is usually something like this or a baked oatmeal. A lot of times breakfast is something that I've prepped in advance, or it's honestly a German or a Dutch pancake, because it's so easy.
And a small housekeeping note: there is a Susan Jones claiming to be your mom, and that is your mom. And you can tell that it is a certified person by the little blue wrench that shows up in chat.
Hi, Mom.
So if you see any other Susan Jones that don't have a wrench next to them, or actually just in general, if you see, you know, comments on YouTube from Becky and they don't have like a checkbox next to them, well, I guess you could probably put a checkbox character next to it and not be legitimate, but there's a special character that kind of authenticates it. So that is true in this case too, but what you're seeing is legitimate with Becky's mom.
Hey, Mom.
How about we do a couple more?
Okay.
And then we should probably wrap up.
Yeah.
How did you learn to manage time and effort making multiple recipes?
Practice. I really like just thinking through. I think it's almost kind of a game to think through, like, what can I do when, so that I'm saving time. And so I think it's just a lot of practice and getting comfortable with it, watching people online who do a lot of multiple cooking things.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a gift for sure, especially the bulk cooking stuff.
Oh, so on that note, something I am working on that will be out relatively shortly is I'm working on putting together guides or packets so that it can walk you through it in written form, how I do some of the bulk cooking and what steps, because I usually have like an order that I generally take things in, and so hopefully that will be out relatively shortly. If you're on my newsletter, which I write that once a week, that's my goal, and I've been pretty consistent recently, so if you're not, the link for that will be down below, but you'll be the first ones to know when that's coming out. Yeah.
And then I guess the last question, if you're able to answer this, is whether or not you're okay telling everyone what you plan to cook for Easter dinner.
Oh yeah, I don't mind telling you. So we did cheesy potatoes or funeral potatoes. My sister-in-law requested a lemon poppy seed cake with a berry filling and cheesecake frosting, because we celebrated her birthday as well. We usually do that as a family. Whatever birthdays are in the month when we have a family get together, we just celebrate them at that time. We did a pork loin that I stuffed with onions and sausage and breadcrumbs, and then I made a maple Dijon mustard glaze to go on the top of it, and it turned out so well. I kind of made that recipe up because there weren't a lot of, I couldn't find a recipe that I wanted, so I just kind of took a bunch of things, components from different recipes, and made that up. What else did we have? We had fruit salad with my sister-in-law's salad dressing on it. So if that sounds weird to you, the first time I had it, it sounded weird to me, but it is delicious. It's like a sweet, tangy salad dressing. And then, what else do we have? Oh, I did a asparagus tart with puff pastry and Dijon and Gruyere cheese and a balsamic glaze on top. It was definitely pared back a little bit. And then we did hot cross buns, and I made them two ways. I did a cinnamon raisin hot cross buns, and then a lot of people in my family love raisins. A lot of people in my family do not like raisins. So then I did a cranberry orange hot cross bun, and that was my favorite. That was so good, because I'm one that doesn't like raisins, but my dad loves raisins, so we did a little bit of both.
Yeah, that one's great.
We pared it back a little bit because my mom and I were going to do a lot of the cooking together, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I did the majority of the cooking, so I did pare it back a little bit, and it was really nice and beautiful, and it was wonderful because it was not as, it was just really nice. It was really nice. It came together really easy. And then my sister-in-law she blanched green beans and then made a Dijon lemon glaze that she put on it with chopped nuts. It was really good. My sister-in-law is a really good cook. So
Very talented
yeah.
family.
Oh, thank you. So that was Easter. So we end up, just for future videos that are coming out, we go shopping for Easter dinner, and then that's one video, and then we do all the prep, and we do start to finish prep for that video. It was great. We just did that yesterday. That's why we're going live today, because it was a lot over the weekend, so it's kind of fun to go live and just kind of cook something. Here, let me show you real quick here what this looks like after it's sat. So it does, you can see it deflates a little bit, but it tastes just as good, even after it's deflated. So that's the recipe. So let me know what you think of cooking a recipe in a live. I've got a lot of ideas, but again, if there's any recipes or anything you want to see me cook live, let me know. Put that down in the comment section. We do want to get a camera at some point, if we can, over here so that Josh can switch back and forth between the two.
Possibly next time.
Possibly.
I almost this time, but it was really laggy for some reason having the two, so we'll see.
One thing at a time. We'll try to improve one thing every time if possible. So thank you for sticking in here when the volume's been a little bit quieter. I really am sorry about that. We will see what we can do, or Josh will see what he can do to improve that. And we appreciate the feedback on that so that we can, if we didn't know, then we wouldn't be able to improve it. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your Monday. I hope you had a good Monday. I hope you are going to have a good week to come. I am going to be doing a lot of stuff, planting stuff tomorrow. That's my goal, and trying to figure out what this week is in store, because I don't even know exactly all the things I'm doing this week. So it's going to be a good week though. So thank you for being here. Thank you again for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. I really appreciate it. Bye, friend.